my God. Jesus. Oh, okay. Anyway, all right. Well, we're live. All right. Welcome to Nerd Culture Clash. I'm your host, Comic Book Bob. Joining me, as always, is my co-host for NCC, Tom the Immortal. Say hi, Tom. That's an inside joke that one day we'll tell everybody about.
I think you mentioned it before.
Yeah, and also today we're joined once again by our good friend, Fine Ass Frank.
What up?
All right, and today, of course, as the title indicates, we are talking Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Oh my God, I can't wait for this crap, man. The hour of the king's return approacheth. So today we're going to go over our favorite Godzilla films and moments, maybe even some of our least favorite moments as well. And
in there too.
Yep, and what we're hoping for from this new franchise going forward. But first, there are a few other news items we want to go over. It's going to be brief, I promise, but it's just a couple of interesting things that people have been having discussions with people online with, and just want to weigh in on them real quick. And we're going to start with, let me go ahead and get my screen share going, the Infinity AEW. Oh, wow. There you go.
There you go, yeah.
Yeah. But AEW, the latest, the only real contender for the WWE just had their, stop doing that. Actually, no, go ahead. Let's just let that happen. But they had their first, that was their first official AEW pay-per-view. This was the first pay-per-view after announcing that they were creating this new wrestling organization, and it was freaking awesome. I mean, it was like, I've been a wrestling fan for most of my life. I fell off for a while because it just got stale after the WWF at the time, WWE today, killed WCW and ECW. They basically have no competition. So for like almost the last 20 years, it's just, slowly stagnated. And then all of a sudden, AEW comes on the scene and they just start tearing it up. I mean, it was the kind of show. This reminded me why I was a wrestling fan to begin with. Back in the day, it was fun. The matches were amazing. Like I was a comic book fan before I was a wrestling fan, and the whole thing behind wrestling for me was like, it was literally you're literally watching almost like superheroes fight.
Yeah.
It's, there's a lot of pageantry. It's really cool.
A lot of setup, a lot of smack talk, a lot of, and my guy can beat your guy. Who's your favorite wrestler? Oh, they suck. This one's better. It's a lot of smack talk, not just between the opponents, but among the audience and the fans. And
yeah, the thing about AEW though is that they basically that's one of the problems that's come down with WWE in the last decade or so is just there's so much exposition. It's like, just get to it, man. Just put on an awesome show.
It's all about storytelling. You gotta have great storytelling.
Oh yeah, you gotta have great storytelling. Yeah, and AEW comes out and goes, no, it's about entertaining people, and it's about just putting the people who are really talented and who work their butts off. It's putting them over, and that's exactly what it was. My God, dude, there were so many freaking crazy spots on that thing, and I'm gonna tell you what, I knew he was coming out here, man. This is AEW signs Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley, for people who are WWE fans, obviously you remember this guy. His name is he was called Dean Ambrose in WWE. I knew he was. It was like 90% confirmed that he was coming out during this show, but when he did, man, it was like it was just like, holy crap! And I'll tell you what, he came out with energy like he hasn't had in a long time, and just the show they put on, that friggin' match between Cody and Cody Rhodes and his brother Dustin. Holy crap, man. I mean, that you're talking like 1980s, 1990s style stuff, man. It was insane. I'm really, really excited for these guys when they get there. And They just announced their TV deal a couple weeks ago. We're going to be on TNT, which is where WCW used to be. And I believe that they said that the tentative launch date is October. So I'm really looking forward to this. And they're basically saying that the way that they put on that show last Saturday, that's exactly the kind of thing they're going to do for their television stuff. It's like it's just going to be that's the style. It's not going to be a bunch of goofy gimmick stuff and just people being just all this talking in like 10 minutes of wrestling. You know, it's going to be crazy off the wall matches, man. And some of I'll tell you what, the tag team matches they had on that show, the spots that those guys were putting over and the moves that they were doing, it's light years past freaking WWE, man. It was like, wow. I can't wait to see what as more and more as they get more and more talent and they put more and more people into these friggin' pay-per-views and stuff, man, and these shows. This is going to take, as long as they keep doing that, man, this is going to take off. It's going to take off big. So, yeah. and the good thing about this too is this is going to force WWE to do something they haven't had to do in a long time. It's going to force them to reevaluate.
Yeah, they've been king of the hill so long. They're kind of just, if this is us, what else are you going to watch?
Yeah, I mean,
they've had the monopoly on wrestling for 20 years.
Yeah, it's like they haven't had to evolve. They haven't had to improve the product. And think about this. These guys, they don't even have, like, they just announced this TV contract. They haven't been on television. They don't have the presence outside of the fandom, like the hardcore fandom that the WWE has. And the buy rate on this pay-per-view was higher than everything except for WWE's biggest shows like WrestleMania. If they can pull that with as little exposure as they've got, imagine what they're going to do once they start hitting, like, you know, they start hitting the airwaves and stuff the way that WCW used to. I mean, this is nothing but good news if you're a wrestling fan, in my opinion. So yeah, that was really cool show. Looking forward to the next one. You got AEW's got a new fan. They got a rekindled fan in me.
And they had some great surprises with Bret Hart.
That was really cool, man. When Bret Hart came out, and also when they did the introduction of the heavyweight championship belt, that was really cool, man. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens going forward. But it was a lot of fun, man. Good show.
Yeah, an Awesome Kong with the women's.
Yeah, actually, the women's stuff was probably the weakest thing that they did, because I think, and it's not. I'm not saying that the women were weak or anything like that. I'm just saying that as far as the matches were concerned, they didn't feel like the people who had the really high energy and stuff. They really weren't pushed all that much. And I don't know that Awesome Kong is signed on with AEW. I think they just brought her in for that one pay-per-view. But it was nice to see her though. But okay, so that's cool. Moving on. Oh my God.
Captain Marvel.
Oh my God. So we're back at it again. And so this is a discussion that has been heating up the internet. Basically, everybody's pooping their Pampers again. So the DVD for Captain Marvel is getting ready to drop
May 11th.
And this clip comes out of a scene that was cut from the movie. And if you've gone to see the movie, and we actually did see it, and you can check out the review on my channel. There's a scene where this guy on a motorcycle drives up to Brie Larson, and he asks her, he says, smile, no smile, you're not gonna smile for me. And it's one of those things where you're just like, okay, whatever, man. But apparently there was more to that scene. And she basically says, how about a handshake instead? And she shakes the guy's hand, and she basically crushes his hand. And she says, here's a proposition. Yeah, here's the line. She said, here's a proposition. You're going to give me your jacket, your helmet, and your motorcycle. In return, I'll let you keep your hand. And after releasing the man's hand, she says, what? No smile? So, and look, I'm not going to, let's be completely honest here. That's a cringy friggin' scene. All right. 110%. It's cringe. It's, whatever.
It's reminiscent of the scene from Terminator when Arnold appears in.
It is, but at the same time, it's like she's supposed to be a hero. Why is she doing that? All right.
Yeah, but you expected that from the Terminator. You don't expect that from a superhero.
Right. Yeah, right. And so that's the view that they're putting forward here, that she basically tortures the guy. Let me weigh on this. I'm gonna weigh on this real quick, and then that's gonna be done with it. Look, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Okay.
One thing, it's a deleted scene.
Well, yeah, one thing, it's a deleted scene, and so basically when they did it, they were like, now people are saying, well, they didn't delete it because they didn't like it. They deleted it because of runtime. And my thinking is maybe, but maybe also they looked at this and went, yeah, we're probably going to make a lot of people unhappy with this if we do this. So let's cut that part out. It's unnecessary. So, but either way, is it like I said, is it cringy? Yeah. Would I have done it? No. But it's not the worst thing in the world here, guys. I mean, in a culture like we have now, where you basically got clashing ideologies, pick your battles. All right. Of all the things to get upset about, I don't know that this is the one to hang your hat on. At the same time, there are people come and say, well, if it was a man doing it, you wouldn't have had a problem. It's like, no. I mean, if a superhero like Superman did this, we'd be like, yeah, dude, why are you doing that? Don't do that.
So many people had a problem, and they should, at the end of the Superman movie when he killed Zod.
Yeah.
Because Superman doesn't kill people. He is the Boy Scout character. I mean, you could kill lots of people, but he on purpose doesn't.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If Batman had done what she does in this, absolutely would have been like, okay, yeah, that's Batman. Batman's a little crazy. Okay. But she's supposed to be, she's basically supposed to be, they're kind of trying to set her up to be like this universe's version of Superman. Okay. So I can understand in the context of what was going on there is like, all right, yes, we understand you're trying to push feminism. You're trying to push, toxic masculinity, which, by the way, total bullshit on that. But it's
and
not
Evan just popped in, but
yeah, it's not that big of a deal. I'm seeing people are literally having flame wars over this. I'm like, it's not that big of a deal either way. The people that are like putting this character and this actress on a pedestal, I'm like, you're being ridiculous. And the people that are acting like she's the freaking Antichrist, you're being a little ridiculous too. So at the end of the day, I'll say the same thing that I said about the movie. All right, it's the movie wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't the abortion that some people make out to be. It wasn't the second coming like some people were making out to be. It's just one of those things where you're like, you know what it is, this isn't, we're not being blindsided by anything here,
Yeah.
Have they gone back to see every deleted scene out of every movie ever made? Because I'm sure this isn't the first time something like this has been deleted out of a movie.
Right. And here's my stance on this. If you didn't like it, I get it. I understand why you didn't like it. All right. If you're defending it, okay, whatever. But let's be completely honest here. This is ridiculous. It's not that big of a deal. There's a lot worse things to be thinking about, and there's a lot more important things to be, a lot better things to be thinking about and talking about. This, again, like I said, it's cringy, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. So, yeah, I think everybody's being a little silly about it. So, and like I said, as far as the movie's concerned, it was all right. Wasn't great. It definitely could have been way better. And whatever. It's just, that's literally how I feel about it. It's like, whatever, man. I honestly don't care either way. Okay, moving on from this. God, that was painful. I mean, literally, there are people that are just gutting each other over that crap. So now on to something more important, something that I actually gave a crap about.
Godzilla.
No.
Oh,
I got one more thing, man.
One more in the queue.
One more. All right. So Tom King. All right. So if you're a comic book fan like me, and if you're a Batman fan like me, you've probably had some problems with Tom King's take on Batman in the last couple of years. And the last issue, I believe it was 71. That pretty much broke it for me. At that point, I'm like, okay, I'm done. And believe me, I've been buying this comic book since I was 18 years old. Batman is the first superhero that I've ever liked. I'm a Batman guy. I'm not buying this book if Tom King continues his story. I'm just not going to do it. I'm tired. And then let me say, this is not an attack on Tom King. Tom King, for the first 25, 30 issues of his run on this book, it was really good. It was actually really, really good. The Button storyline that they did was really good. It was after that, which coincidentally was right about the time when he had a falling out with his editor, and his editor basically, long story short, got him fired. And the new editor came on, and basically the new editor seems to just rubber stamp whatever Tom wants. As a person, now, if you look through history, I don't care how good of a writer you are. I don't care how good of an artist you are. I don't care how good you are, period. You need that voice to tell you, hey, this isn't right. This isn't, you need to go back. You need to work on this some more. You need that voice. If all you have is somebody that rubber stamps everything you do, you're going to run into problems. All right. H.G. Wells, and I usually use this reference when I'm talking about this stuff. H.G. Wells, arguably the greatest science fiction writer of all time. He owes a huge amount of his success to his editor. He had a special relationship with his editor. For years, Wells basically went through editors like tissue paper. And then they finally found an editor that could talk to him, because Wells was very mercurial. Mercurial.
That word.
And in fact, I think there have been some diagnoses, like post-mortem diagnoses, obviously, that he may have been bipolar. And
would not be uncommon for an author.
No. But he had a special relationship with this one editor who was able to coax the best out of him without him losing his mind. And a great deal of his success is owed to that editor. Now, obviously, Wells was just an amazing writer. But if you look at the work that he did prior to this editor and then the work that he did after this editor died, you see that Wells was he would go on these melancholy slants, and he would get very dystopian. And the difference between his writing was night and day. So when King, I truly believe when King had that falling out with his editor and he fired him, and they brought in the Jamie, I can't remember the guy's name now, Jamie something. And he just started rubber stamping everything that Tom wanted and did. That's when this book started going off the rails. And the same thing is what's happened to Heroes in Crisis. Heroes in Crisis has absolutely ruined Wally West. And a lot of that comes from the fact that Tom King, from my observation, he's a deconstructionist. He's that person that likes to take these characters, these superheroes who are supposed to be paragons, and he breaks them down. He breaks them down into us. But what he doesn't understand, and what a lot of these writers don't seem to understand, is I'm not going to spend $4 a pop to read a comic book about people like me. I don't need to do that. I've got everything else for that. I read comic books, specifically superhero comic books, this specific genre. We read superhero comics to read superheroes. They're the new mythology. They're the new gods. Okay, that's what we read them to do. We read them to read about amazing people doing amazing things. I don't read them to be depressed. So with the backlash that came, and the backlash for Heroes in Crisis was insane. I mean, and I don't condone this, but he was getting death threats. You know, so now I'm going to say this right now to the people who were like sending death threats and stuff to Tom King for that. You need to go seek help. Yeah. But the people who were disappointed in it, like me, absolutely understand that. The people who aren't going to buy any more of it after that, absolutely understand that. Same thing with Batman. The sales numbers on Batman have slowly been dropping. And after the last issue, I would be very interested to see what the next issue sells, because I get the feeling it's going to have a pretty sharp drop. And I think DC saw that and went, oh, we got to do something about it. So they made an announcement, because Tom King was supposed to be on Batman until for 100 issues. And
so what are they at now?
They're at 71 right now.
Okay.
And they came out with this announcement saying that he would be off Batman after issue 85. Now, here's the thing. The book is being released by monthly. So there's 2 books a month. So he's still on this book for another 14 issues. So that's another 7 months. And everyone thought, well, they're forcing him to truncate his story. They're trying to, and at first that's the impression I think DC was trying to push, is that we hear you guys, we understand you're not happy with this. We're going to make him wrap it up, and then we're going to work on fixing it. But as we've seen here, this is all just a swerve. This is just a swerve by DC to be like, okay, look, we still want you to do your thing, Tom. We're going to make it look like we're listening, and we're gonna let you finish your story. Because yes, he's leaving Batman at issue 85, but he's going to continue his story in a new Batman Catwoman miniseries, a 12-issue Batman Catwoman miniseries. So they're not really taking him off they're taking him off the book, but they're not really stopping what he's doing.
Yeah.
It's like they're like, oh yeah, see guys, yeah, we listened, and they're back there, they're going, yeah, go ahead, Tom, you just go ahead and keep doing your thing. And they also confirmed that this book he's doing is not going to be a one-off thing. The story he does in this is going to
be ongoing.
It's going to be it's going to tack onto the end of his Batman run. It's going to be, full canon. It's not going to be something that you can just ignore later on. This is a bad idea. Okay, fans are going to this might work for a little bit, but the fans are going to see this and they realize what they pulled here. And like I said, I don't have anything against Tom King. He's done good work in the past. But this storyline is just depressing as hell, and he's breaking this character. The damage he's doing to this character is going to take years to fix if what he says he's going to do is true. This is basically Batman's One More Day. This is the same thing that happened to Spider-Man when they did One More Day, and it basically, literally half the fandom for Spider-Man left and never came back. Spider-Man used to sell almost half of it, like between 200 and 400,000 issues every single book. And then they did One More Day, and it dropped to half that. Because everybody was just pissed. And it's never recovered. It's never recovered. And I get the feeling that if they let Tom King do what he wants to do, now there is one glimmer of hope in this, that the fact that they're cutting this off, they may actually start like really nitpicking what he does and say, look, you can't do this, you can't do that. That's a possibility. But I get the feeling that we're about to see Batman's One More Day. And that really bothers me as a fan. But we'll see. I mean, I'm not wishing for the guy to fail. I don't do that.
Well, I mean, he's writing your favorite character. You don't want him to fail. You want him to do good.
Yeah, it's
But
just
when
the
he's
track.
not,
The track record at this point is not looking good. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I saw this and I'm like, oh, basically DC pulled a swerve. All right, I see how you are. But yeah, I'm hoping. All right, okay, that's it, guys. Let's get on.
Oh, we're done. Oh,
Yeah. Godzilla.
Child's Play.
Yeah. Oh God, dude. I didn't want to talk about that. But oh my God, I can't wait for this, man. All right, so if the hints that we've dropped in the last few episodes of this show that we've done haven't clued you guys in because we keep making references to talking about Godzilla for 2 hours. I'm a huge Godzilla fan. Huge Godzilla fan. Tom's a pretty big Godzilla fan as well. I literally grew up with this stuff, man. And this movie, everything I'm hearing about this, everything I've seen about this movie, and I've deliberately avoided trailers for this thing. I watched I watched the teaser trailer, the first teaser trailer. I watched the first the first full trailer that they released. I haven't watched any of the other ones since. I don't want this movie to be spoiled for me at all because Daikaiju fans, especially Godzilla fans, we've been wanting this movie forever. A big budget, true Godzilla film. Not some friggin' iguana running around eating fish. Okay. Not, hey, here he is, and then slamming the door, and you get this, you don't get to see the big fight.
Did you see that? Did you see it? There he was. He was there. Did you see it? No, no, actually I didn't.
Yeah, we want to see 2 hours of monsters fighting. That's what we want. We want Pacific Rim, but without the lameness. So this movie, man, I cannot. This movie, next to Avengers Endgame, this movie is the one that I am jonesing for more than anything else. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to talk about like a little bit of the history of Godzilla. We're going to talk about our favorite films, our favorite moments, and just go from there. Like we're basically the next hour is going to be us fanboying about this freaking thing.
Oh yeah.
But I'm going to let you go first, Tom.
All right. Well, being a child of the 70s as I am, was. No, yeah, whichever. Okay. This was my Saturday afternoon. You know, you'd get up in the morning, have cereal, watch cartoons, go out and play, get some lunch, and then Saturday afternoon was monster movies. No. And Godzilla was a big part of that.
Oh yeah. Like Superhost and
Superhost and
Ghoulardi and
Frank and Drake, Big Chuck and Little John. If you're in the Cleveland area, those were all the big ones that, you know. Yeah, Friday night, Saturday afternoon, monster movies. That's what you watched. And like I said, big part was kaiju movies, not just Godzilla, but
Gamera
ones and Gamera and all that. And this is something that until I was definitely adult, it wasn't really too long ago, but I remember I was talking to somebody and they were like going on about how, even the first Godzilla movie was, it was just cheesy hokey. And I'm like, it's actually really not. And if you go back and watch it and keep in mind that this is literally 12 years was it after the end of World War II?
1955, I believe. Let me double check.
I thought it was 57, but
1954 was the first Godzilla film. So it was it was 9 years after World War II ended.
Yeah, 9 years after the war. They're still in recovery. And they made this movie. And watching the American version of it, it's okay.
Yeah.
Watching the original Japanese version and keeping in mind, this is 9 years after the war. And they made this, and it's even not looking through that lens, it's still an amazing movie for the time. But keeping in mind that, God, what was the suit made out of? Because they literally...
It was made out of rubber and like old school
like latex kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. They literally used up all the latex in the country to make that suit.
Yeah. And actually, the suit, the scenes where you see Godzilla whole, those were actually the first ones that they shot, because most of the movie, when you see like Godzilla full, like his full body, there's not a whole lot of those, because what happened was the guy it was well, he literally fell down, he collapsed, like it was so heavy, and he just could not.
Well, there was no ventilation in it. And
yeah,
I've read things where literally he would get out of the suit and they would have to dump the sweat out.
Yeah, and he literally he could only be in it for 3 minutes at a time without passing out. And this was actually the second suit that they made. The first suit, okay.
Speaking of Godzilla.
Yeah. The first suit that they made was so heavy they couldn't move in it. The second suit was much thinner and much lighter, but even that one, like literally, he could only be in it for 3 minutes without passing out. He lost 20 pounds during the production of that film, all from literally just walking around in that suit.
So you want to lose weight? Be Godzilla for Halloween. Get an original costume.
God.
Walk down the block. You're good.
But yeah, like the first suit weighed over 200 pounds.
Damn.
Yeah. And what they ended up doing was they're like, we just can't do this. So they cut it in half. And so for a lot of
feet, they'd film the top.
Yep. And the guy, it was literally like, there's actually pictures you can find where the guy who's the legs, because there was two different guys. Mm-hmm. The guy who was the legs, they made these giant suspenders.
Yeah,
one over his shoulders. Yeah. But yeah, it was like, this movie was like, this movie was kind of like Star Wars, where they were literally making up the technology as they went.
Although it does actually, I think, in a way, kind of lend to, I would kind of say, the realism of it. Because, in a lot of the later movies, you can see Godzilla kicks into a building and you can see, his toenail bend. But in that one, when Godzilla's putting his foot down, that guy's literally just like, oh,
yeah,
oh, literally stomping, because damn, 200-pound suit.
One of the things, but going back to what you were talking about, how this was like so soon after,
after
World War II. The guy who wrote the story for this, the guys who created this originally, they actually, the whole idea behind this movie, because this movie was like you said, if you watch the Japanese version of this movie, it's very serious.
Oh yeah.
The whole idea behind this thing was to shine a light on the horrors of nuclear war and just the failures of mankind. Because some of the shots, some of the scenes, and they actually cut these out in the American version, but some of the scenes of the people in the hospital where you see like children that are burned and stuff, those are actually real pictures of what happened after Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They literally used real photos and real footage and stuff.
Yeah, footage from the
war. The idea behind that the movie was that it was literally like it's about coping and taking responsibility for the incomprehensible, like man-made, like it's man's greatest failure, basically, nuclear tragedy.
Well, and the whole big plot of the movie is the one scientist has a weapon that can destroy Godzilla, but he doesn't want to use it because he's seen what the atomic bomb can do.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is a weapon. If this gets out, it's going to be used on people, and I don't want that on me.
Right.
So, you can't use it. And people are like, what do you mean? He's killing people. We got to stop this. So
yeah. But he's like, but if I do this, it could be even worse.
Yeah.
So, and actually, that's actually the plot line for the movie Godzilla versus Destroyer.
Yep.
because what he did, because he used the oxygen destroyer, it created something worse.
Yep.
So, but yeah, it's like when that movie first came out, like this movie, it was a really it was a gut punch to the people who watched it. There were some people who like literally got up and walked out of the theater because they couldn't take it. But it was but obviously it was a massive success. And afterward, they were like, "We're gonna the film studio." It wasn't the people who originally created it; it was the film studio. They said, "We're gonna milk the hell out of this." And they that's when they went with the more sanitized, slightly more hokey version that we got later on.
Yeah, the Raymond Burr version.
Yeah, but every once in a while, though, one of the screenwriters or the directors would kind of want to go back to that more serious take.
Yeah.
And so every once in a while, you'll get one of those movies.
Which are the ones that, in general, are the ones I like more?
Mm-hmm.
Are the serious? It sounds ridiculous to say we're making a serious monster or serious movie about this giant monster that's stomping on buildings. But the ones that take it more seriously are the ones that I actually do like more. The campy ones, like the really campy ones, like the Final Wars.
Yeah.
That one's just...
That's goofy.
Yeah. It's just goofy. Everything about it is ridiculous, which is also good. I certainly enjoy those.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's fun to be silly, but yeah, I'm with you, man. The ones that they treated Godzilla like he was a force of nature.
Yeah,
those are the ones that I really, really liked. Although when we do get into our favorite ones, one of my favorites all time was one of the hokier ones, though. So, but what do you think, Frank? What do you got to add to this?
I'm just glad to see Godzilla continuing because after that dumpster fire with Matthew Broderick,
yeah,
the last one they had a couple years ago was good, but
it was better.
I expect a lot more monster, a lot less human involvement in this movie. Hopefully,
yeah, the 98 Godzilla, or as it's called, Geno Godzilla in name only. That was actually one of the, when you brought up Final Wars, that's actually one of the big
best thing in the whole movie.
Yep, is when the real Godzilla stomps Geno.
Quickest fight in the whole movie, just smack, you're out.
Yep. And the thing was, here's the thing I will say about that movie. That creature design is not bad. It's just not Godzilla.
Yeah.
So I absolutely agree. And like I said, the 2015 Godzilla film, it was better, but like we said, the big complaint about that movie is just not enough monsters. It's all humans. Yeah. We got an hour and a half of bargain Channing Tatum and 30 minutes of 30 minutes of monster. It's like, no, it has to be the other way around.
20 or 30 minutes of barely can see. It's a giant monster.
Yeah.
Which was also the problem with Pacific Rim, is like, oh, all the fights are at night.
Yeah.
Lovely. Oh, one takes place during the day, but it's at the bottom of the sea. Oh, wait, sorry. Two take place during the day, but one is only covered as news footage in the background.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you really didn't get to see the great monster fights you wanted to see.
Yeah. But speaking of great monster fights, we're going to go into our favorite Godzilla films. Ooh. And I'm going to go ahead and start it off. My first one, and these aren't in any particular order, but my first one, as you can see on the screen here, destroy all monsters. This one was pretty much kind of what we're about to get if the things that I'm hearing about this new movie are accurate. What the freaking hell, man?
It's a Gearus.
Is somebody vacuuming their lawn? The hell? Anyway, this movie was basically the end of, well, it wasn't the end, but it was pretty much the swan song of the original Godzilla run, which is called the Showa run.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm going to mispronounce these eras horribly. But this was the Avengers Endgame of Godzilla films. This had every freaking monster that was in Toho's stable
repertoire.
Yeah, it literally had. I mean, it had Ghidorah, it had Godzilla, Manila, Mothra, Rodan, Gorosaurus, Anguirus, Kumanga, you name it. Every monster was in this thing, and it was literally just monsters beating ass. It was just, that's all it was. It was
11 different monsters plus the aliens.
Yep, and it was all them fighting. Literally all them fighting. And Manda was in this one. I can't remember all the monsters that were in this thing. But this was the movie where everyone was like, why don't they just have all of them fight? And they're like, and Toho basically went, all right,
done in the ring.
So
it's a pay-per-view. Everybody show up. Monsters fight.
This was basically a monster battle royale. And when I saw this when I was a kid, I actually saw this. It was replayed, obviously, because I was born in '72. This movie was replayed at the drive-in theater as the double. It was a triple feature. The first movie was The Legend of Boggy Creek, which was, oh dude, it was a cheese fest. Which was the big
cheese fest. But when you were a kid, that was a scary ass movie.
My god, man! It was that Day of the Animals, which is one of Leslie Nielsen, the guy who did the Naked Gun movies, was one of the serious movies he did. Day of the Animals, and then Destroy All Monsters was part 3. And I was literally asleep for like most of Day of the Animals because I was like, I don't care about this stupid movie. But man, as soon as that march, yep. As soon as the Akira Ifukube's march started, man, I was like, Godzilla? Oh, what? Oh my god! And man, it was just like when I saw Star Wars at the theater when I was a kid.
Oh my god!
When I was a kid, I shot out of my friggin' seat probably about a foot, and I don't think I blinked once.
Oh, and by the way, the DVD that I got of Destroy All Monsters actually comes with a CD that has the soundtrack that has like the 30 different versions of the Godzilla March that have been used. It's awesome.
This is I don't even know what to say to this.
Being haunted.
But yeah, this was also the movie, and actually I didn't realize this, I'm just reading this right now. This was also the movie that introduced the whole Monster Island thing into Godzilla series. What was the name of it they gave it? It wasn't, they called it Monster Island for a while, but then they changed the name to something else.
Monsterland?
No. Was it Monsterland? It was like Birth Island or something like that. In the next series that came after this, the one that ran from 85 to like 90 to like 96, 5 or 96.
Yeah, the one they had another name, I can't remember.
Yeah, it was like Birth Island or something like that. But anyway, yeah, this was my first this was one of my favorites right here, man. One of my 3 favorites. Tom?
Well, let me had to go turn on a light so I could see. All right.
You're a robot. Just use that.
Use my low light.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm sitting here looking at the stack of movies right now. One of my favorites does have to be the original Japanese version. Gojira is. I mean, that's, like I said, it's such a classic. It started it all. I mean, I really can't think of too many other like foreign-made monster movies like that, except for Reptilicus.
Yeah.
Which I also love, considering it's also made in Denmark. How many movies get made in Denmark, much less giant monster movies? But yeah, the original Godzilla, we can't say much more about it than we already have. It's just started it all. It's got just a special place in my heart. And like I said, I grew up watching the Raymond Burr version. And then I found out, that wasn't the original movie. And God, it was probably in the 90s when I actually saw the original version. I was like, wow, that is actually a powerful statement. It's really well, it's a lot more coherent than the Raymond Burr version. That's all just edited together.
It's a very, the American version was very, very hamburgered.
I mean, they did a good job of splicing the scenes in and making it make sense, but it was just a lot more coherent with the characters actually interacting with each other instead of Raymond Burr talking to the one other Japanese guy that was in all the shots with him. I think it was another newspaper guy. I can't remember.
Yeah. And it completely changed the tone of the film as well.
Yeah. It's a lot darker, a lot more serious.
Okay, I gotta know what the hell that is. I really gotta know what the hell that is. Is that doing someone using a leaf blower or something?
It's not me.
It's not me.
Is that somebody using a leaf blower though?
Not with me.
It's just, oh my God. All right. That's going to drive me absolutely insane. But it's funny that I thought it's funny you mentioned Reptilicus, because the guys who did the first Godzilla movie, they actually originally wanted to do it in stop motion. And they just didn't have.
Oh, the Reptilicus isn't stop motion. It's it's puppeteering.
Right. But it was they were heavily influenced by that movie. They were also heavily influenced by The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, which was stop motion.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that you mentioned that. But yeah, the original, like we said, it was a completely different tone. It was very serious. But Frank, what you got, man?
Hey, you said it all with Destroy All Monsters. I mean, it is the battle royale of Godzilla movies, but my favorite has to be Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2.
From the second Mechagodzilla film.
The second Mechagodzilla film.
Right. Was it
which
Godzilla?
is actually like the fourth Mechagodzilla film.
Well, actually, no. I think he's talking about the one where he has like the missiles that fires out of his fingers and stuff, like the second Godzilla film from the 70s. Yeah. It's actually I think it's called Godzilla. I don't remember which one that one. The exact.
Let's see.
But that's the one where Mechagodzilla is actually they've got it the fake rubber skin on it to make it look like it's actually Godzilla, and then it gets torn off. But
it actually came out in '93.
Oh, you're talking. Oh no, so you are talking.
He's talking about the later one, which actually is pretty good.
You are talking about this one then.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, that's one of my favorites as well. That one was the one that I really this is the one that really changed my perception of Godzilla for me, because like we said, in these movies, which was I'm gonna butcher the crap out of this. What's it called? The Heisei period. Heisei period. That's when they switch back to making him less goofy, and he's more of a force of nature. This is the series. This is when they started changing, where Godzilla was not some
guy in a suit.
Yeah, guy in a, well, not just that. It was like, how like he would do like the drop kicks and give like the peace sign, and stuff like that. The goofiness of the 70s was gone. This thing is a freaking typhoon. This thing is a hurricane. It's a living, breathing, natural disaster. And that's kind of what they've gone with him going forward in almost every film too. And I think that really brought him into fandom for a new generation, because this was literally like, yeah, man, you don't play around when this thing shows up. This isn't kids jumping around going, yay, Godzilla. It's like, oh God, we're gonna die.
Yeah.
And this movie, I love this too, because this one had one of the coolest looking Mechagodzillas. I still think this Mechagodzilla is one of the coolest ones. Now, I do think that the one from the 2000, the Godzilla 2000 series.
Yeah, I actually like the one from the Godzilla Tokyo SOS.
Yeah, that one.
That's the one I like.
Yeah, that's the one. I actually bought that figure from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that one, I like that design best. But this one, I don't think you would have got that one if you didn't have this one.
No.
But I also like that this is the first one as well where we get super god, like we get like the supercharged Godzilla. This is the first one where we get the and they call it Fire Godzilla, where he gets
this is the start of the meltdown arc.
It's the start of the supercharged Godzilla. This is when he first has his breath ray changes into that spiral. It's got like the red spiral going through it.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the one where you see that Godzilla can get supercharged. And this is actually the beginning of the whole thing where he starts to go into meltdown. No, you're all correct about that. But because this is also the first time when Mechagodzilla, like the humans, actually beat Godzilla. Because he actually loses the first half of this fight. This is also back when when people didn't know as much about dinosaurs and stuff and large organisms from the past like that. And they theorized that Godzilla had two brains. He had one in his spine and one in his head.
Yeah, so they tried to hit the secondary brain.
Yeah, they hit the secondary brain, and that's how they beat him. But then he gets supercharged from Rodan. I'm not going to go into all that because I want you to watch this movie. But this is the first time when we see Godzilla get supercharged. Which, by the way, from what I am understanding, this happens in the new movie.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. We get because like I said, I've tried to avoid as many spoilers as I possibly can, but there have been some toy releases, and one of the toys is called Fire Godzilla. Where he's just like he's red. He almost looks like Meltdown Godzilla. But yeah, I'm like, oh my God. And then of course he got the breath weapon changes. But yeah, dude, I agree with you, man. This one, Mechagodzilla 2, one of my favorites. How many days is it going to blow? Seriously.
I say the first one of that's the Godzilla versus, or Godzilla, it's actually Godzilla against Mechagodzilla.
Right. Yeah, Mechagodzilla isn't actually humans. It's the aliens, those insect aliens from, what was it, Planet X? There's all kinds of
which one?
they had all kinds of different names for it and stuff.
Yeah.
But the Mechagodzilla was a weapon that the aliens used.
Yeah, the original one was.
Yeah, the original one was. I think the second one was as well.
Well, no, the Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, which then became the Mechagodzilla 2. That's the one where they actually used DNA from the original Godzilla to build.
You're talking about the one from the Godzilla 2000 series,
right?
Yeah, they actually go and they get the skeleton of the original Godzilla that was killed in the first movie, and they use that as the basis for the Mechagodzilla they built.
That's why it shuts down when it hears him roar.
Mm-hmm.
and the whole thing just shuts down. Well, it goes on a bit of a rampage and then shuts down.
Yeah.
You're like, ooh, maybe that was a bad idea.
Yeah. But yeah, good choice, Frank. Mechagodzilla 2. That's one of mine as well. That's my second one. So, Frank, what you got? I mean, Frank. Tom, what you got, man?
Well, this has to be in all the Godzilla series, the whole realm. This is literally my favorite Godzilla movie. I think it is. I won't say by far the best, but it definitely, it's got plot, it's got good acting. It's, some Godzilla movies aren't real coherent, some of them, but I mean, this one is really, like, in my opinion, it is the best. And
Godzilla versus Biollante.
What? No. That one just starts off bad and goes downhill.
Oh my God.
But no, this one is Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah in giant monster all-out attack. Worst name ever. I mean, the name just sounds like it should be the next Destroy All Monsters, because there's even more monsters in it than in the title. But it's the one where the three guardian monsters, which is Mothra, well, what?
Okay, dude, seriously, you gotta close your windows, man.
My windows are closed. I don't know who you're talking to.
Frank, is that you? I mean, Tom, is that happening at your house?
There's nothing here. I have no idea where that's coming from.
What in the hell, man? Okay.
Yeah.
But
So,
anyway,
yeah, Godzilla is basically, well, let's see, I was Mothra, King Ghidorah, and
Baragon.
Well, King Caesar is what they call him in this one.
No, he's called Baragon. I got it pulled up right here because that's actually one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, Baragon. That's right.
This is my third favorite. You guys are poaching my stuff.
I'm sorry. That's actually in the dubbed version.
Mm-hmm.
It's King Caesar or King Kaiser,
which is completely wrong, by the way, because King Caesar is a completely different monster.
So, but anyway, yeah, it is by far my favorite. It's the possessed Godzilla, so he's got the whiteout eyes.
Yeah, that was freaky as hell, man. And that's also this is the first one where he actually focuses on the people. Because there's that scene where he looks down, and he sees the people running, and he almost gets this. It's almost like he gets a
contempt,
an evil grin on his face, and he just blasts everybody.
Yeah, that's when you see the kids in the school. And it looks like a nuclear blast from far away, the big plume of smoke coming up. And they're all like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
Although I think that's also the one with that's the one with the scene with the lady in the supermarket. And the announcement comes on. It's like, hey, Godzilla's coming. Everybody get out. She's like, oh, Godzilla's not real. And she's one of the people in the parking lot that gets blasted by Godzilla. So
yeah. But, it was cool because that was the story where he gets possessed by the
spirits of the forgotten souls,
the people who were killed by the Japanese in World War II. And the way that they beat him is they go and they awaken these quote unquote three guardian beasts, which is Baragon, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. So yeah, that one was really cool. That one was like, again, that's another one where they treat Godzilla like this is not some goofy, this is something scary. This is a thing that's going to wreck everything.
Although even with that, they still have the fairly goofy scene where where Baragon and Godzilla are fighting, and there's the news reporter in the helicopter doing a blow-by-blow, literally like it's the WWE.
Yeah.
I mean, he's up there. Oh, and Godzilla's got him down, and he's stomping on his head. He's in the gravel pit.
Yeah, it was. That was one of the ones where And I noticed that in a lot of the 2000 Godzilla franchise, they tried to inject humor into it in certain places.
Yeah,
like kind of like in the Gamera series with the one guy who starts off. I think he
starts off as a cop.
Yeah, and then he becomes a security guard.
But he always seems to be where Gamera is happening, and he's like, "Okay, I'm involved.
Yeah,
let's do this."
Yeah, it's like he just gets worse. It's like he just gets worse and worse and worse. But that guy's always basically a little bit of the comic relief, and that seems to be all right. What the hell?
Okay, that's somebody got hit by a train.
Frank?
Yes, sir.
Was that you?
I don't know. I had to move my laptop for a second, so maybe it was.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. I was just like, what? Good God, this is the worst broadcast ever. But no, yeah, I agree with you, man. This was my number 3. You guys are poaching my stuff. Okay. Well, I agree with Tom.
So what's your number 2 then? Since
my number 2 was Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2.
No,
that was my number 2, man. But
so you got your number 1 left.
No, well, as I said, they were in no particular order.
Oh well,
those were my 3 top picks. But I do want to bring up. Hang on.
Final Wars.
Yep, I want to bring up Final Wars because let me make this clear: this movie was stupid.
It was bad, but it was hilarious.
It was hilariously bad.
Yes.
This is basically the best way I could describe this movie is Godzilla versus Power Rangers.
Yes. Yes, very, very much so.
It's so long story short. So long story short, Godzilla gets quote unquote defeated.
Yeah, they freeze him. They freeze him in the Antarctic.
They bury him in Antarctica. And then later on, this alien race called the Zillions,
the
Zillions, they come to Earth and they're like,
hey, we're gonna help you guys out. Oh wait, no, we're not.
And they're like, we're gonna help you out, and we're gonna make you humans superheroes, basically. And
I think the plot was a little more detailed because I think it was they found that certain people had like an ancient strain of DNA, which actually came from these aliens.
Right.
And that's also what made Godzilla was this DNA. So all these people are partially like Godzilla, but they're also controlled by these aliens.
Yeah.
So, plot twist.
Yeah. What the twist? Basically, long story short, they take control. These aliens take control of
the Power Ranger.
Most of the Power Rangers. They take control of most of the monsters in the entire world, including Gino. And which the one cool thing they didn't show is that they showed them sending the monsters out to all over the world, to different cities in the world.
Yeah, everybody's getting stomped in this one.
Yeah, it's not just Tokyo that's getting annihilated. They're like for the 50th time, they're like, oh my God, we're gonna have to rebuild again. It's New York City, which by the way, they should have sent Gino to New York. That's the only
he went to Sydney.
Yeah, he went to Sydney. King Caesar, who you mentioned, he goes to Okinawa. I think it was the spider. Yeah, Kamakuris went. No, Kamakuris was in Paris. The manga attacks the United States. It attacks Phoenix. You know, it was all of them. They even had Hedorah, which was the smog monster. Which is it's like they even had that one. So this one was basically they were like, okay, so everybody loves. My brain's misfiring right now.
Which one was he look like?
Everybody loves Destroy All Monsters.
Yeah, so we're just going to remake it.
So we're going to do Destroy All Monsters, but we're going to add Power Rangers.
Yeah, that's pretty much the plot.
And of course, the monster that they unleash, Monster X, which is basically Ghidorah, and then Ghidorah transforms into a Super Ghidorah at the end, which Godzilla and all the other monsters fight.
I think the only monster that
Godzilla destroys. His son shows up at the end.
Yeah,
Godzilla actually goes around and destroys all the others. But the best part of this movie is former UFC fighter Dan Severn plays the captain of the spaceship.
Yep,
Dan freaking Severn with his porn stash. He plays the captain of the weird battleship thing
with the drill on the front.
Oh my god, this movie was so bad, but it was so bad in such a good way.
Actually, the only monster I can think of that's not in here is Megalon.
Yeah,
because Gigan's in it.
Yeah, Gigan's in it. Everybody's almost pretty much everybody's in it. Yeah, actually, now that you mention it, I didn't realize that Megalon was not in this movie. Was he in this? Maybe.
I don't think he was.
I don't think he was.
He might have been in the one that came after it, because the one that comes after it is the one where the aliens give Gigan and Ghidorah the mechanical parts. Because after this fight, they're all messed up, and the aliens get them again in the whole time travel one. And
yeah, no,
because that's when Gigan gets the chainsaw hands.
Yeah. Which, oh man, did you?
Oh no, that's this one where he gets the chainsaw hands.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is the one because he gets tore up. But did you watch any of the Netflix movies, the 3 animated films?
No, I did not.
Okay, Gigan is actually part of the. I think they mention him. They mention him. They don't actually show him. I don't believe. I still haven't watched the third one because the second one was so bad. But the guy who wrote it actually they did a graphic novel like manga series thing, and Gigan, they completely changed Gigan's character in that series. He's actually a hero. And actually you actually see what Gigan looked like before it became a cyborg. And what happened is basically the humans were able to use Gigan as a stopgap measure to hold Godzilla off in those series, because in that series Godzilla is trying to destroy everything, and they can't stop him. He's literally systematically wrecking the human race, and Gigan just progressively gets more and more and more destroyed after each fight, and they keep replacing pieces of it. But the way that they treat Gigan is horrible, because they're like Gigan loses an eye, and instead of just fixing, like doing something with that one eye, they pull both his eyes out, and that's what they put like the visor thing is. So by the time it gets, and eventually, Godzilla
he's more machine than monster.
Yeah, basically. And at the end, Gigan makes this last stand to hold Godzilla off, and Godzilla basically disintegrates it. So it was a really cool idea. I read about that the other day, and I'm like, wow, that's actually really cool. But yeah, so honorable mention or dishonorable mention goes to Godzilla Final Wars.
Hey, now remember, before the world premiere, Godzilla received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame before this movie came out.
Yes. Godzilla has finally gotten a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So, cool. Yeah.
Did not know that.
All right. So, any other movies that you guys particularly liked in the series? I mean,
I liked them. I mean,
I pretty much liked them all. I mean, I watched every single one of them. But those were the ones we talked about. Those are the ones that really were standouts for me.
Yeah, Destroy is good. Megaguirus is good.
Megaguirus. I didn't actually care for Megaguirus. I liked Godzilla versus Batra. That was good with the evil Mothra.
Yeah. Well, Megaguirus is the one. Megaguirus is the one with the black hole gun, or is it the Absolute Zero gun from
the one that actually injures Godzilla?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I actually have that figure, the one where he's got the big scar on his chest. I actually have that one. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, yeah, I did like Megaguirus. Because that's the one that has 3 different monsters that are all just the same monster.
Just like combined.
Well, the first one is the tons and tons of the
insects.
Yeah, the insects, the kind of dragonfly looking things that were I don't know, probably about 15, 20 feet. So in a way, it's kind of like destroying that, because then they all bunch up to make bigger ones.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why I didn't like it. I was like, oh, this is just another.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really liked. Wow. I really like all of them. I mean, even Bylante. I mean, I think I really don't like that one just because it starts off so bad.
Yeah, I was not. I was never a big fan of Bylante either. But man, people love that freaking movie. There are fans who like there are fans that want a Bylante movie by itself. They want that character, they want that monster to come back, and I'm just like, why? It's a giant freaking rose
that has somebody's soul stuck in it.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
However, two mentions I would like to make are both the Godzilla Rides Again and Godzilla versus King Kong, which were 2 of the early ones, when they still really didn't know what they were doing, and they made the same mistake in both the movies of, instead of increasing the frame rate to slow things down so they look bigger, more ponderous, they decreased the frame rate, which sped them up and makes them look a little more cartoony when they were fighting.
Yeah. But look at this. If Bylante looked like this, I could get it. I understand it. But this isn't what it looked like. It literally looked like a giant freaking rose. And then later it had like a weird T-Rex head, like kind of like Godzilla head thing. It was weird.
Yeah, it was kind of more elongated, but big mouth teeth thing.
Kind of like a gator head almost.
Yeah, very much so.
But
then you also had all the little stalks with all the little heads on it.
Oh God, I don't understand why people love that movie, but yeah, but
it's romantic.
The person who did these movie posters,
did a good job. Yeah,
I had a card set that had all these. Like, God, these were gorgeous, man. Even like Megaguirus here. Oh my God, like these were beautiful, but nobody does these anymore. Like stuff like this, or like the Drew Struzan. I love those, man. The artwork on those things were fantastic. I still have some of these somewhere. But
that would be awesome.
Oh my God, there was the whole card set with them. But yeah,
but this one with the Godzilla with those, like, every once in a while the big tooth.
Yeah,
I actually do kind of like that one. I mean, not as much as the possessed Godzilla, but
yeah, the artwork
pretty cool.
A lot of these. What was the one you see?
Yeah, that's your next project, Rob.
Yeah, okay. Dude, do you know how long it would take me to draw Godzilla? The amount of detail I put into things, it would take me forever. Let's see, was it versus Mecha Godzilla? But the poster for this one, this was one of the cards I had. I actually had it scanned and blown up, and had it as a poster. I think I still got it somewhere. But
Scott Schmear's here.
Awesome. Welcome. Thanks for coming up by, man. I appreciate it. There it is. Look at this one, dude. This one's fantastic. Look at that. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, this okay.
That is so cool. If Mechagodzilla looked like this is what Mechagodzilla looked like in the 2000 series. This is more like what he looked like in the 2000 series. But if he looked like that in the 93 one, oh my god. But yeah, man, it's just like look at Godzilla's face. That's badass right there.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, nobody does this kind of stuff anymore. I don't know why. People used to buy these things forever. I have this somewhere. I need to find it. I would dig those out, put them up on the wall.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, whoever the artist was who was doing these for Toho at the time, man, that dude is freaking tastic. But yeah, I agree, man. So all right, so let me ask you. All right, we talked about our favorites here. Give me a bad one, man.
Yeah, come on. It's always for me. It's gonna be the Matthew Broderick one. I don't care.
I don't even count that. Don't even count it.
Yeah, I don't either, man.
Imposter.
Yeah.
But, Star Trek 5.
Oh god, there is no Star Trek 5.
They skipped that one.
They don't. Yeah. Shut up.
I know. I mean, there's some that just, But I mean, I love them all. I mean, because I love the genre, the whole kaiju giant monster guy in a rubber suit stomping on stuff. Mm-hmm. Just brings back my childhood. But I was really disappointed in Shin Godzilla. It had some good moments, but overall, just kind of really was just there. Just kind of came out flat. Although I'm trying to remember which one is it. No, I think that might actually be God, yeah, the one I really like, the giant all-out monster attack. I think that's the one that has the girl that's in the hospital because she's on the island at the beginning of the movie, and Godzilla shows up, stuff gets broken. I don't know what happens to the friends she's with. Maybe they got killed, maybe they didn't. But then later on, she's in a hospital when Godzilla is destroying the town. And she's in traction, so she can't move. And Godzilla walks right past the hospital, and she's freaking out. And then, he's passed and she's like, oh, okay. And then his tail just right through the hospital. Sucks to be you.
Yeah, I think that is the movie. But the thing I didn't like about this movie, and I didn't think it was terrible. I just didn't really care. I really don't care for this design.
No.
I don't like the uber giant gaping mouth. That was one of the things I didn't like about I think this was flashbacks to Blade 2 for me. Because one of the things I didn't like about Blade 2 was the split mouth vampires.
Wasn't that Blade 3?
That was Blade 2. Blade 2 was the split mouth vampires. Blade 3, there was a dog that had it or something, but I didn't care for that. When his mouth, because when he does his breath, and the way his breath weapon looked was weird. It was like a purple ray.
Yeah.
And when you fire it, his mouth would split open like that. And I didn't really care for that. I didn't think this movie was terrible. I kind of liked the premise of it. I just didn't like, I guess I say the execution of it, which seems like a kind of a dumb thing to say.
Yeah, I think you got it.
I think it was too much of a departure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, I think I understand that they were trying to break new ground. They were trying something new and everything, and I applaud them for that. But it just it felt like it was just too much of a departure from what Godzilla was. This felt more like one of the monsters he would fight.
Yeah.
Than Godzilla himself.
Like Godzilla versus Space Godzilla, do Godzilla versus mutated Godzilla.
Mm-hmm. If they had done Godzilla versus this thing, this thing was trying to copy him or something, that would be pretty cool.
Or even if somebody else was hey, it's going to take Godzilla to beat Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like in Red Sun when they cloned Superman, but it wasn't quite right.
Yeah. So
kind of the same thing, Yeah, I think that would have been a much better, for this design, would have been a much better much better way to go with that.
Yeah. But I mean, it's an interesting design and everything. I just think it's too much of a departure. But for me, as far as movies I didn't like, I didn't care for Biollante. Like I said, I didn't hate it. I just I don't see why people love it so much. I didn't care for it. The only Godzilla movie I really didn't like, and even then, it's so bad it's funny, is Final Wars.
Yeah, I think Final Wars is a classic example of something being so bad it's come full circle and is actually kind of good.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you drink have a couple beers and make fun of it with your friends.
Yeah,
that's the kind of movie I would love to see the guys on from MST3K make fun of that movie.
I mean it's almost below them to make fun of that movie because it is.
I mean, no, dude, it would be worth it just to hear the comments about Dan Severn's porn stash.
Yeah,
I mean, I would love. That's how good bad that movie is. But yeah, I mean, as far as bad Godzilla movies that I hated, I mean, other than of course, we're talking about that abortion, friggin' 98. That's not even real. I refuse to acknowledge its existence. But the 2015 Godzilla, again, I didn't hate it, but it just wasn't the movie it should have been. This movie right here, this one, Godzilla King of the Monsters, that we're going to be going to see here on Monday. This is the one movie that we've been wanting. This is what that movie should have been.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. I really can't.
Yeah, I liked this reboot, the first Godzilla movie. I liked it. Could have done with more monster fighting, definitely. I mean, if you wanted to tack a half hour onto that movie and had monsters fighting in daylight where you could, see the fight, I'd have gladly sat through that.
Yeah. Which that's one of the things I do like about the trailer that I did watch is, even though, again, the monsters are fighting at night, you can see them.
Yeah, it's more of a Twilight, them fighting has raised up so much dust it's clouded the earth or whatever, because it's...
Yeah.
Or even in the one scene that they show where with the girl on the roof, and you can see the dust or whatever coming in, and she runs inside and slams the door.
Yeah.
I think it's more like that. It's more of a dusty, which I guess they're doing that to make it blend better with CGI, I would guess. But I would suppose that a lot of those scenes are 100% CGI. So why you would have to do that is beyond me.
So yeah, right here, you can see there's some kind of weird illumination in the sky.
Yeah.
And then in this scene right here, there's stuff going on around them to where you can see them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not obscured. Now, obviously he's moving, so it's a little blurry here, but yeah, in that trailer, even in the scenes where it's dark, you can still see what's going on.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously like right here, this let me kill that. This scene with Mothra, when she's flying down through, you could see her. You could see all the detail.
Yeah.
So I think they learned their lesson really well. I think they said, look, we want monster fights. We want to be able to see what they're doing. If you're going to be, so if it's going to be at night, you got to do it in a way that we can see what they're doing.
Full moon, lots of stars.
Yep. Full moon, lots of stars, but it's got to be monsters fighting. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I want this movie to do well. I want this movie to be huge, because if people see the formula for this, okay, there's another franchise that needs to follow this formula, and that franchise is Transformers. You don't want it. Okay, we don't want an hour and a half. We don't want an hour and a half of freaking humans and a half hour of Transformers. No, we want an hour and a half of Transformers and a half hour of humans.
At best. At
best. In fact, the movie that should come out after Bumblebee, let me make this clear. I actually enjoyed Bumblebee for the most part.
I did like Bumblebee.
What needs to happen in the next movie is the next movie should literally be what happens to Optimus Prime after Bumblebee launches away from Cybertron.
Yep.
Because the whole movie should be that.
And a reboot of G.I. Joe with
Transformers.
Oh no, with the guy from Bumblebee.
Dude, I want to see G.I. Joe versus Transformers, man. Dude, I love that comic book. That comic book was fantastic. But no, yeah, that's actually, yeah, we talked about that before, that John Cena's character, because it takes place in the 80s.
Yeah.
John Cena's character should be Duke.
Yep.
He should be Duke. He should be the guy, or at least he should be General Hawk. And he's the guy.
Yeah, they could do that too.
Yeah, he's the guy that starts G.I. Joe. That's what they need to use that as a jumping off point. That's a good jumping off point, because it also explains the weird tech and stuff that happens in G.I. Joe.
Although I think the best, one of the best, I want to say not reboots, but one of the best cure-alls I've ever seen for any franchise was the third G.I. Joe movie, I think, with The Rock.
Yes.
That starts off with everybody else dying.
Yeah.
That was probably the best part of the whole series.
I think that was the second G.I. Joe movie.
Yeah, the second G.I. Joe movie
was The Rock.
Was The Rock?
Yeah.
Okay, so they didn't even bother to make a second one in between those two.
Nope. The first one was so bad. Oh my God. It was horrible.
But, so yeah, when your franchise starts off your second movie with everyone dying.
Yeah. So
a third one comes out this year or next year.
Another G.I. Joe movie?
Yep.
I don't think so, dude. I don't.
I believe so.
Hang on a minute. Let me check first showing here.
I am 99% positive.
I have not heard anything other than a few little rumblings.
Rumble.
So next year. All right, let's look. I mean, actually, you know what? Let me just type it in here.
What about Godzilla 2000?
Godzilla 2000 wasn't bad.
It was. I don't want to say it was a little flat, but there was a lot of people interaction in that one, which wasn't bad. I mean, they made good use of it, because most of the people interaction was either, how are we figuring out to deal with this other monster? Okay, well, Godzilla's dealing with them, but now it means we got to deal with Godzilla, you know. But for the most part, I did like it. I mean, there were a couple parts that were a little kind of hokey, forced, you know, with the whole, because there was the reporter and then the scientist and his daughter.
Yeah.
So you had the little kid.
The whole G-cell thing and all that crap.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I liked what the tone of it and everything, though, and I liked how they did Godzilla himself. So it wasn't a great movie, but it wasn't bad either.
Yeah.
March 27th, 2020.
Okay, one thing I want to direct your attention to, though, Frank. What's the date of this article?
I don't know.
December 2017.
No, I understand that, but they were planning on making a third one. Who knows?
They've been
planning on making Gambit for how many years?
I understand that, but since this little my God, since this little announcement that Paramount made, there hadn't been jack movement on this thing. Because even though the Rock movie was better, it still didn't do great.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No.
Yeah. And they're also, we're talking about your D&D movie in 2021.
Yeah, whatever. Oh my God, I can't believe they're making a Coming to America too.
I told you.
Good Lord, dude. I can't believe they made Bad Boys 3 and no one knew about it. Like literally, I saw Will Smith posted a picture as like finishing shooting with him and Martin.
Martin.
My brain doesn't want to. God, my brain is not working today, man. But is like, yeah, we just finished shooting. I'm like, I didn't even know it was even a thing. So,
yeah, if you go on first showing, if you go to 2020, March 13th, Godzilla versus Kong.
Yep.
And 2 weeks later, G.I. Joe Ever Vigilant.
Let me see who's in this. I mean, I want to see the where's the. Okay, all right. Here's the problem. Problem number one. They don't even have a cast. So I'm calling BS on this right now. So yeah, look at the director DJ Caruso, rumored. No, this is not coming out in 2020. I'm sorry. No. No.
So what about that D&D movie?
Yeah, whatever.
And if you look in on first showing in 2020, they have New Mutants listed in.
Now that's actually been confirmed. Marvel actually announced that a couple weeks ago that they're finally gonna put it out. And at this point, I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't you? Because the movie's completely made. You just bought Fox. If you got this movie sitting on a shelf, there's going to be at least a small portion of people that go and see it. Get some money out of it.
Yeah, release it, recoup some of your costs.
Yeah, well, it didn't cost Disney anything.
It's already paid for and done. They're just going to make free money, no matter how much. The only thing they're paying for is for advertisement.
Yeah, which I mean, there was enough. I mean. I'm going to go see it just because I'm curious to see if it's as bad or as good as people think it's going to be.
God, it's dark as hell out here.
But yeah, I mean, it's like, all right, why not? So that one I know that's actually confirmed. But yeah, and then Godzilla versus Kong, man, I'll tell you what, I don't know what's going on with this. And the other thing too is some people have theorized that they're actually not going to go much past Godzilla versus Kong as far as these movies are concerned.
You know they will if it takes off. And
yeah, as long as it's making money, they will.
I swear to God, man. This is the worst stream ever. But yeah, because the thing is that's one of the reasons why somebody actually brought this up.
And Max Rocks is here.
I appreciate it.
Hail Godzilla.
Is that dad calling you to call mom?
Oh my God. Danny, I love you. It's an inside joke, man. But yeah, everybody that's here, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. But yeah, I'm stoked for this, man. I really am. Like I said, this movie next to Endgame is the movie that I have been jonesing for more than anything else. But yeah, Monday is going to be interesting. But yeah, I apologize to people that are showing up just now, but we're getting ready to end it. But you guys got anything you want to touch on real quick before we shut this down?
Actually, yesterday I went and I saw Detective Pikachu.
Oh, good God!
It's actually not bad.
Really?
Yep. I mean, you got to keep in mind it is a kids movie.
Oh, I'm sure.
So it definitely has that feel. The main character has these conflicted feelings about his parents and this and that and that, and it's like deal with it. But it's for kids, so
yeah,
we have to work it out. And
everybody that I've talked to that's seen it said that it's Ryan Reynolds playing Ryan Reynolds without any kind of profanity. Yeah. So, and he's a funny dude. So, I mean, it doesn't look. I mean, I didn't think it was going to be terrible. I just was like, okay.
I mean, granted, I don't know that much about Pokemon or whatever, but I know enough to at least recognize most of them.
Yeah.
But
I'm also going to go see Brightburn tomorrow.
I'll probably see that Sunday.
Yeah, so I'll be watching that, and I'll be doing a quick review on that. But Frank, you got anything? On the plate, man?
Nope. I'll probably see Godzilla before you. Probably see it on Thursday.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
But yeah, I want to go see it, but I made a promise, and I'm gonna honor that freaking promise, even though the person that I promised it to isn't here. She isn't even watching this. She isn't even listening to the stream. So hopefully she'll hear it later and she's like, I kept my promise. So everybody else is going to do their reviews before me, and I'm going to miss out on that, that first bump. So, but I made a promise. But
you're a good man. You're a good man.
All right. Well, that's our show for today. I want to thank all the people who showed up today. We greatly appreciate it. As always, you can find us right here. By. Yep. You can find us right here every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And
odd noises and all.
God, dude, man, I'm going to find out what that was, and it's never happening again.
Okay. All I got to say is I'm not touching nothing.
I don't know, dude. I don't know if we're getting some kind of weird feed from something or what. But anyway, but yeah, if you liked what you saw here today, please hit like and subscribe because it does help the channel, and we need to grow. And leave a comment below. It's all greatly appreciated. But I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. I'm Comic Book Bob.
I'm Tom.
I'm Frank.
And we'll see you guys next week. Oh my God!
That's me. There's a flood warning.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Keep the nerd love strong, guys. We're getting out of here before something else happens. Yeah, have a good day, everyone. Thanks for
Godzilla.
Yep, go see Godzilla.